Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy. Without any further interruptions, enjoy the what if. Chapter 31. Erupting Battle Preliminaries conclude. Okay, I was reading a fic called Heir of the Throne for Naruto a while ago, and while it has an interesting, unique plot, it is an X-over-heavy story that can be hard to understand. It also had one of the darkest, best-written Narutos I've ever seen, mistreated to a point he didn't feel happy about meeting distant family and having hot girls care for him. I bring this up to comment on the dangers of writing versions of Naruto. You can end up creating a Naruto who's almost a different person. On the bright side, if you can stand that kind of Naruto, it's a good read, and one of the finer dark Naruto fics I've seen. Just hope you're familiar with various cartoons and animes, movies. I envy the males in the story. Anyways, this is one way to interpret a mistreated Naruto. A lighter view can be seen on Hectel's fic New Chance, and another fic that's good for a dark Konoha with a moderately dark Naruto you should read is called One Man Team. Okay, Conan is still winning. Out of nowhere Fluffy appears. Hey, what the hell are you doing here? This isn't the story. Annoyed looking Fluffy. Oh, lighten up would ya cross. I'm just here to tell the readers the news. No spoilers Fluffy, or I will delete you. Relax. Anyway, you can't delete me. Oh really? Clicks delete. Fluffy is unaffected yawn. Well anyway, the next story that comes from Mr. Cross will involve altered cast. While Hinata, Naruto and Haku are still on, Mei gets a show, and Kurotsuchi has been confirmed to be off the next cast, but Tycoon and myself will be there because. No spoilers chases Fluffy off. Never mind all of that, I chased her off. Wait, it's time to start the chapter. Poison will make you numb. Fluffy messed up my joke mojo. Hell yeah I did. Fluffy Mitrashi Tower, Match 14, Finals. The last two competitors in the contest found themselves staring down on another, Naruto Uzumaki in orange, and Kankuro in his black cat suit. So, looks like the best match yet. After all, both of their other teammates passed this round, so they are bound to be most skilled. Lee said ecstatically. You can do it Naruto-kun, Hinata said softly. So yellow boy, what do you have hidden up your sleeve? Any flying thunder god, Kurotsuchi muttered to herself. You can take cat boy there Naruto-kun. Fu yelled ecstatically. Put the weirdo on ice. Haku yelled. However, Naruto felt something off. The killer intent this guy's giving off, it's not normal. It's more than his teammates. Gaara was staring at Kankuro in interest. It appears as though he wishes to prove his existence, Gaara said in monotone. Temari stared at him in shock. Wait, when you say that, you mean, kill right? Gaara stared back like if he was saying, duh. What the hell Kankuro? Hayate nodded. Begin the final match. Kankuro reached for his back container, as the wrappings began to undo themselves, unveiling a creepy multi-armed puppet thing. Puppet Master Technique. A go, Crow. A duo of vortexes made up of black fire formed around Kankuro, slowly taking shape. Tae-sun and Fluffy were alarmed. Wait, that's his summoning technique. Oh great, he's possessed cat boy down there. Damn Uchiha, Fluffy grumbled. Should we interfere? Tae-sun shook his head. Only if things get real ugly. We want our pal in the finals, and if we blast his opponent, that would get him disqualified. I don't want to deal with a depression-likely Naruto. Do you? The vortexes formed into a six-armed barrel-like puppet and a lizard-like puppet. Black Ant, Salamander, he now had 3 puppets under his control. Temari blinked in shock. Hey, how the hell did that just happen? He left blank Ant at Suna. And he hasn't even gotten the lizard one. Baki shook his head. And what was with the black fire? If anything he'd be a earth or wind release user. Kankuro began moving his fingers, as Crow and Black Ant flew at Naruto, clicking as they went. Wind release. Wind fleets. Wind chakra focused itself Naruto's sandals as he flew at improved speeds towards the puppet master. With a few flecks of his fingers however, kunai began flying out of the arms of his attacking puppet straight at Naruto. Rolling out of the way of the attack, Naruto used his wind release to force himself up into the air behind Crow. Electricity began to course across his palm as he did this. Lightning release. Shock palm. Naruto palmed the puppet, causing it to burst. However, as it exploded, A burst of purple mist flew out of it. Poison gas. Haku gasped. Naruto-kun. Hinata gasped. Not cool. Quickly grabbing his ninja bag, Naruto drew an anti-poison seal and applied it to his mouth, flying through the poison cloud safely as a result. Removing the spent seal from his mouth, Naruto flew towards Kankuro with his shock palm still active. Salamader. The giant puppet jumped in front of his master via the jutsu as its back opened up, allowing for Kankuro to hide inside with his strings still active. The palm struck the puppet monstrosity, to no avail. Avoiding several kunai from Black Ant, Naruto growled. So, that's the way you want to play, coward. Well, I can too. Multiple shadow clone jutsu. Hundreds of Narutos appeared throughout the arena, shocking the genin and foreign jonin. Wait, how does a genin pull that off? Yugito gasped. Killer Bee chuckled. Why is it I'm getting some skills off the kid that are quite fine, like he's one of the 9. Yugito stared in shock. A Jinchuriki. Yosh, so youthful. I feel most envious for his skill. Great. More blondes. Kurotsuchi sighed. Naruto-kun. Hinata smiled. Damn Dobi, I will have that jutsu. A dozen clones appeared around Black Ant, before picking at it with several rapid kunai thrusts, tearing the evil toy apart. The rest focused in at Salamader. So, can your oversized robot handle this? Wind release. Wind fleets rise. All but one of the Narutos began to levitate above the stadium floor. Man, how much chakra does the little squirt have? Neji asked himself. Fire release. Wyvern flame jutsu. Wind release. Great breakthrough. Fire wyverns were blasted towards Salamander, where the winds kicked in, blasting the fire releases at greater speeds into the hull. Despite the fact the hull wasn't damaged, Kurenai blinked. 3 elemental releases. The clone on the ground grinned. Water release. Great waterfall technique. Out of pure chakra, a blast of water rose forth that swamped the battlefield in a great wave, striking into Salamander, that flung around like driftwood. Hey, if I get water damage, you're paying for it, Gaki. Enko yelled, grateful the entire place hadn't collapsed yet. The remaining Naruto clones descended on the waters and struck them harshly. 4 releases. He is truly worthy of proving my existence, for a long time. Lightning release. Lightning surge. Lightning coursed across the waters, striking the now weakened Salamander, which promptly exploded as the water rapidly sunk down a drain they had on the floor for some reason, creating a whirlpool which both the real Naruto and Kankuro were in. My puppets. Damn you Uzumaki, I will kill you. He's like the Uchiha from before, the Hokage gasped in surprise. Fire release. Great fireball technique. A giant fireball flew from Kankuro's mouth towards Naruto. The possession is stronger than before, usually their powers and personalities remain relatively intact. Now, his is actually overshadowing Kankuro-kun's own, Tae-sun commented. Water release. Water wyvern jutsu. A water dragon flew from the whirling mass and blocking the fireball before chomping down at Kankuro's position, before he jumped out of the way and did several rapid hand signs. Blaze release. Dark inferno. Out of Kankuro's eyes a blast of dark flames were unleashed, coursing the water's surface like it was nothing. What the hell? Something's wrong with Kankuro. Amaritsu. I want that power. Damn it. Shadow clone jutsu, substitution. Naruto created a shadow clone of himself and substituted for him as the flames encased him before the clone burst. However, his escape placed him in the range of the final show, as Black Ant rose from the waters completely repaired. What? This show is over. Uzumaki, Black Secret Art, Iron Maiden. The chest of Black Ant opened up, swallowing Naruto whole before sealing itself, as blades from both Black Ant and Crow rose from the waves. Naruto-kun, Hinata, Fu and Haku gasped while the rest cringed, as the blades pierced the insides of the container, before a burst of orange chakra lit the container's hull. No, not that. Kyuubi's seal. The fox felt her chakra drain to heal the little ninja she was sealed in, flowing through the seal on him added by Tae-sun. Already with storm, aura, scorch and ice kanjis on it, the next one appeared. The kanji was of lava outside in real time, lava release, Vesuvius. A burst of red-hot liquid rock flew from insides of Black Ant, before it began to melt rapidly with the parts of Crow inside it. Then in a burst of motion, Naruto forced himself free, minor stab wounds covering him but rapidly healing due to Kyuubi also being removed of any poison. No, no, no. You have his power. Wait, lava release, that's my trick. Kurotsuchi was furious. How the heck did he just do that? Tenten gasped. Hinata had stars in her eyes. Naruto-kun, you're so amazing. Haku and Fu sighed. Well, as long as he doesn't go overboard, it's not a total disaster to our plan. Tae-sun did a ram seal. If he's possessing Kankuro-kun, Naruto-kun, you're going to need all the power you can get. Temporary filtration ending. Why does that Dobi get that power? Naruto sped forth on the water, straight towards Kankuro. With the Kyuubi's power flowing in through him, Naruto flew with amazing speed. Yash, youthful, he is a Jinchuriki, Killer Bee said astonished. Blaze release. Dark Inferno. Aura release. Aura sphere. The two Kekkei attacks collided with an explosion of power. What sort of release was that? Guy said astonished. It is so youthful. Lee, you must be this boy's youthful rival as well. Yes, Guy sensei. Naruto got in front of Kankuro, and whispered. Storm release. Phantom surge. A blast of unseen storm chakra catapulted Kankuro across the battlefield as the last of the water drained away. Kankuro landed on the floor, coughing blood as he struck, before saying in a confused tone. Wah! Where am I? Winner. Uzumaki Naruto. Wait, what? I lost. Oh man, I can't remember a thing. Kankuro pouted. Temari looked on concerned. What happened to her brother's memory? Tae-sun smiled from above. Good job, Naruto-kun. Your parents would be proud of you, and with your gramps out of the hospital, I bet he'd be too. The winners were now gathering on the battlefield. Congratulations, cough, on passing the preliminary rounds. The finals matchups, cough, will now appear on screen. 1. Subaku no Gaara vs Ni Samui 2, Tenten vs Uchiha Sasuke. 3. Kurotsuchi vs Uzumaki Naruto 4, Nara Shikamaru vs Tsubaki no Temari. 5. Hyuga Hinata vs Hyuga Neji 6, Momoichi Fu vs Aburame Shino. 7. Rock Lee vs Takiboshi Fu. The various peoples were now deep in thoughts. That Gaara kid, he's bound to be tough if Pinky fled, and I have no idea what to go on, not cool. She will prove my existence. So, I'm up against Uchiha, I'm in trouble. The girl won't last, but I'll have the oldies make her one of my bitches. So Yellow Flash Kid, let's see whose lava burns hottest. So, it's her, Kekkei Genkai vs Kekkei Genkai. I'm fighting a female again, troublesome. So, it's Lazy Boy. Well, it doesn't really matter as long as Uchiha and Gaara win their matches. Neji Nissan. So, let's see who's better, the Aurora of the main house, or the prodigy of the clan. If both me and Fu-san win, we'll end up fighting one another. Well, never the better time to readjust the Get Naruto-kun pecking order. Haku-san, you make my insects react strangely, as if cold. I will find out why. Yash, I will fight this fight against Fu-san, and if I lose I will juggle my youthful taijutsu rival. Great, I'm fighting the mega-browed nutcase. We will reconvene at Konoha Stadium in a month, until then. Later, must-win tournament, kill Itachi, kill the Dobi, get hot bitches, must-win tournament, kill Itachi. Sasuke brooded down the hallway, as a dark figure with a hazy form confronted him. Who the hell are? Sasuke collapsed to the ground just as Sakura had done earlier, but this time he vanished as well. Though, perhaps Sakura also vanished. Elsewhere, I need blood, must prove existence, blood. Gaara was stalking in the woods, looking for some traveler to kill, when he ran into someone. However, this someone was a disguised Uzumaki in a brown cloak. It was Tae-sun. The dead of night. A collapsing mass of sand deep in the woods led off a crash across the land, as Shukaku the sand spirit was defeated by a panting Tae-sun Uzumaki. The nearly dead form of Gaara lay sprawled in the center. Fluffy appeared next to him, furious. You still won't use my power, and against a fucking Jinchuriki in the beast's form as well. Do you have a death wish? Tae-sun shook his head. I will use your power, only to defeat Uchiha. But, I need you to heal Gaara-kun here. He closed his eyes as a green aura, Senjutsu chakra, formed around him. However, for this sealing, I'll use a different source of power. Sage Mode. Sacred Sealing Art. 288 Sacred Flavors. Tailed Beast Sealing. Elder Style Seal Improvement. Iron Armor Sealing. As 288 ancient stone ramen cups rose from the ground, before sending waves of green chakra into Gaara's stomach, improving the seal there. That night, Gaara slept for the first time in his life. The training now begins. Original techniques of this chapter. Wind Release. Wind Fleets ranked C Description. Wind chakra is flowed into one's feet to increase speed and kicking power. Wind Release. Wind Fleets rise rank a description. The jutsu evolves to grant the user levitation. Blaze Release. Dark Inferno Kekkei Genkei A description. Amaritsu flames are shot at the foe at high velocity. Lava Release. Vesuvius Kekkei Genkei B description. Lava burst from the user to burn through restraints. Storm Release. Phantom Surge Kekkei Genkei C description. From Spider Fox, this jutsu allows for an invisible storm front to strike the foe. Sacred Sealing Art. 288 Sacred Flavors. Tailed Beast Sealing. Elder Style Seal Improvement. Rank. S description. A powerful sealing art requiring powerful chakra levels to perform. The seal will improve existing Jinchuriki seals to any other of one's choice, other than seals requiring death or specific circumstances to occur. Chapter 32. Kirby Sage appears Hokage's office. The Hokage sighed, furious in himself. Even though he had finally finished all his paperwork, for once, he wasn't happy. He'd been totally blind to the civilian council's plans, only luck had saved the village they loved. If Tenzo hadn't appeared to him with the call of Anbu, who knows what would have happened. Danzo ended up saving the day, while he could barely do anything. He was old, very, very old. He retired for a reason when he gave his rank to Naruto's father, Minato. He was slipping, making more mistakes, and a village in troubled times couldn't afford that. It was only getting worse. He was glad to have least kept Naruto relatively safe and kept the village in check, but it was time to get a new successor on the job. He would have asked Danzo to take the job, but with the root scandal, the shinobi wouldn't accept him as their leader. Once the Chunin exams were over, he'd step down, but he had to do several things first. 1. Trial the teachers who had impaired Naruto's education, and possibly the education of Choji, Kiba, Ino, Hinata and other clan-born ninja, while pushing the education of non-clan ninja and Sasuke beyond what they should have been. 2. Make sure Naruto got a council seat. 3. See Naruto to Chunin rank. 4. Ensure that Sasuke doesn't pass this year if plausible. He didn't need the possibility of him ordering females to procreate with him. That was illegal, but he could easily twist the facts. But who could take the position of Hokage? As he could see it, the main candidates would be Shikaku, Kakashi and Jiraiya. Shikaku was too lazy, Kakashi was too tardy, and in hiding, and Jiraiya, the possible damage to Ika the cage job would do to him was too horrible to think about. With a bam, a rock was smashed through the window, landing on the ground a distance away from him. The Hokage was alarmed. What happened to the extra security? He then examined the rock closer. Tied to the rock was a message. Curiously, the Hokage examined it. Gamble on it, then dose with sake. The handwriting looked faintly familiar to the old man, before his eyebrows rose. Gamble, Tsunade, Konoha, Gaara, Gaara. Tamari frantically was yelling out in a search across the town and nearby forests. Her brother had left, most likely on a murderous rampage last night, and hadn't returned. And to add to it, the arrogant Uchiha and the pathetic pink-haired baby had vanished as well. She cringed. First Kankuro got possessed and not only lost his puppets, but his eyes had been damaged, and now Gaara had vanished. If this kept up, would her only family be her father? She really didn't hope it didn't come to that. To be honest, she had never been close to her father, seeing as he authorized the death of her mother to turn Gaara into. And being Cage never was home much. Ever since she had started trying to reconnect to Gaara, which seemed to be giving results, she had started to really wonder who was the real monster in the family, the Jinchuriki or the one who kept trying to kill his own son, the Jinchuriki. There was also the matter of Yashimaru, her uncle and Gaara's old caretaker. Tamari, as a female and as a kunoichi, was much better at picking up false emotions and hidden meanings than her brothers, and Yoshimaru's behavior had always puzzled her. He had always been kind to Gaara, and had never tried anything before his death, and he had plenty of opportunities too. As a medical ninja, had access to poisons, dehydraciators, sterilizers, but nothing of the manner had been done to Gaara. Unlike stronger, and most likely smarter Buu, Shukaku only blocked external attacks. He was perfect for blocking kunai, fireballs, explosives, but they had seen Gaara get poisoned once as a child and Shukaku didn't save him. Yoshimaru did. He had the perfect excuse to. He could have claimed he couldn't cure the poison, but he cured it. If he really wanted to kill Gaara, that was the chance to do it. What could have caused such a rapid change in her uncle to try and kill Gaara, when it was quite obvious he couldn't succeed? It would have been much better if he had lived. Yoshimaru had taught Gaara so many morals. As a little kid he was better behaved than she was at the time, and was still better behaved than the modern Kankuro. She smiled at a memory of him apologizing to her for so many minor things. If Yoshimaru was still alive, Gaara probably would lack his psychotic nature. What had changed? What had changed? She strained her memory as hard as she could, and something came to her faint memory. The day that Yoshimaru attempted the dead, he appeared to be unfocused. And when she thought of it, the behavior resembled a certain mind-controlling jutsu found in this village, one caused by the Sharingan, but she wasn't completely sure. She at least felt as though she could relax a little at the time being with the finals approaching. Her opponent was the lazy-ass Nara, and she had range on him. That little shadow of his had no chance. Even if Gaara didn't return, she could probably still make Chunin. Konoha's hot springs. With a yawn, Naruto stretched out on a bench outside the hot springs. Hinata had invited Haku, Fu and her sensei, Kurenai, to the hot springs to celebrate their passing the preliminaries. While they were in the relaxing hot water, Naruto had elected to stay out. The villagers appeared to be in a whole new wave of hate for them as of recent, glaring at them with a fury as they had walked by. And it wasn't just them for a change, they were glaring venom at every ninja passing their way. Naruto had worries about them possibly bothering them at the ninja-owned hot springs, so he decided to keep an eye out for any buffoonery, when he heard a different sound from jutsus or explosions. The scrapping of pencil to paper. Looking up in the tree, he saw a large man with long silver hair and a red-adorned clothing set, peeping into the hot springs below. Including the ones his friends were in the man in the tree. Jiraiya, the self-proclaimed king of perverts, and writer of Ika Ika, member of the Sannin, and Toad Sage, was surprisingly smart. You may just see him as a pervert, but he was actually one of the most accomplished ninjas to ever come out of Konoha, or the entire world for that matter. He was a master spy, easily a Hokage-level fighter, and a master teacher. And he knew the rules of ambush, or reverse ambush as it was this time. Jiraiya didn't have the time to hunt down his godson in Konoha, so after asking his teacher about Naruto's plans for the day, he formulated a plan. As a student, Minato had many habits that annoyed Jiraiya. For one thing, when he tried to use his and Kushina's romance in Ika Ika, he burned his notes before using his flying thunder god to put him in the most danger he had ever been in. Peeking on his teammate Tsunade. He also never called him by his name, it was always pervy sage this, pervy sage that. He prayed Naruto lacked that trait. It got really old quickly. And finally, the kid always had to interrupt him in his research. Did it matter if they were Kushina, the wife of Minato's old rival Fugaku Uchiha, foreigners? He always had to interrupt his fun. Did he realize that he was putting thousands of readers on longer wait for his genuines? This also was giving him time to view the boy's teammates' future lovers' book ideas. He saw 3 of them in the hot springs now, a long black-haired girl with pale skin, a green-haired girl, and a little Hyuga with the standard female Hyuga package, along with one of the females from his mistake who had put him in the hospital. Now just from his research, he could discern their basic character molds and personalities. The Hyuga's nervousness, her lower stance in the water, showed off a shy nature, nervous about being noticed, be it good or bad. Probably some home troubles. The black-haired girl, judging from her tone of sighing and average stance, showed a more level-headed nature, the kind who wouldn't focus on showing off, if she really had anything to show off at the matter. Finally, The green-haired one had a higher stance, showing off a more outspoken nature, but her sighs were missing a few notes of content. Probably some sort of tragic past she was still overcoming. What perfect book material, and the Hokage had said there were others with eyes on him. He would spawn entire sagas. Back below, the pervert Naruto glared up at the strange man in loathing. Pervert, stop looking into the girls. HOTSPRINGS, my friends are in there. Jiraiya gasped in fright and crashed into the ground, before huge spikes of killer intent flew out towards him, before he ran at guy-like speeds, grabbing the blonde nuisance as he left. Hey, that pervert just kidnapped Naruto-kun. Some distance away. Honestly, did you have to do that? I happen to dislike being called a pervert, the kabuki man glowered. Hey, you were peeping at the girl's hot springs. Either you're suicidal, or a pervert. The man shook his head, just like his father. I'm no pervert, I'm, dramatic music and a pose from the weird man. I am Jiraiya of the Sannin, the woman WOER and the Toad Sage, super pervert and writer of the greatest book series known to man. Harry Potter. He collapsed to the ground. No. The Idiot's Guides too. No. Bleach. That's a manga. Those books with the sparkling guys Sakura likes. The man promptly grabbed the boy by his shirt collar. Don't even go there, I'm the writer of Ika Ika. Killer intent returned as Haku and Fu appeared out of nowhere, and promptly attacked him. Hinata hung back, not wanting to harm one of her favorite authors, and hero of the Hyuga clan. Hey wait. Perverted sage, hey, do you have a summoning contract that belonged to my father? He blinked. How did that kid know? Sometime later. Okay boy, you've signed the contract for the toads, now let's see you summon a toad. Now, don't get frustrated if you end up summoning a small one. Naruto did the jutsu. Summoning jutsu. A giant toad normally seen in a blue gangster-like jacket, a pipe and adorned with a sheathed sword of huge proportions, with a scar on his eye, appeared. But instead of the above, aside for his scar, he was in a shower cap patterned with flies and had a equally giant loader in his hands. Jiraiya, how dare you summon me when I am taking a shower? Jiraiya then wished he was being attacked by the rabid woman again. A brief hospital stay later. Okay, never do that again when I'm around, so how about the Rasengan? It's not like I'll get hurt from that. Can I? Chapter 33. Finals. Gaara vs Samui. Hokage's office. Finally, the Hokage was seeing the light, the wonderful light of retirement ahead of him. The Chunin exams were about to begin, and once it was done, he was going to retire. And he'd managed to get a lot done in just this 1 month. The paperwork was finally under control with the civilian council's demise. Root ninja were placed in ready to deal with the sand and sound ninja in ambush, and he had managed to even get a tally done of the locations that refused Naruto in the past. The councils had protected them for years, but no more, and the results were staggering. 70% of the food vendors, 80% of the clothing store, the furniture stores, several low-expense restaurants, a Starbucks, a local comic store, the Shinobi pizza place, and the cabbage guy were all guilty of mistreatment, and after a little, justice via the work of New Int Chunin Hectal Incarnate, all of them were out of business and fined. Of course, not every store in Konoha had mistreated him. The ice cream places, the Shinobi-owned stores, of course Ichiraku's, and many others never mistreated him. Then there were of course the stores he never visited, such as the Red Light District. Not that Naruto would ever go there. They also had rustled up the teachers who had sabotaged Naruto and trialed them as well, with the jerks now out of work, and removed from service as shinobi. Overall, with the school several months away from exams, they could afford to wait while new teachers were drawn up, and civilians from nearby parts of the Land of Fire were filling the void from the lost jobs. Now, it was time for the exams to begin, though he hoped Naruto was ready. Jiraiya had been in the hospital far too often, though he always seemed happy. The kid's a natural, though he had to teach those girls of his the Rasengan as well, he had said. Konoha Stadium, the loud bustling stadium of the Chunin festivities, was energized for one of the largest Chunin exam turnouts ever seen. The 12 proud genin below, Tenten, Hyuga Neji, Rock Lee, Takiboshi Fu, Momoichi Haku, Uzumaki Naruto, Aburame Shino, Hyuga Hinata, Ni Samui, Nara Shikimaru, Kurotsuchi and Subaku no Tamari were the centers of attention. There were some differences in this group from the last time, however. Tenten now had a large scroll on her back and Lee's leg warmers seemed to be thicker than before, as if there was more under their e.g. leg weights. However, two were off further. First, Uchiha Sasuke appeared to be ill. His skin was pale, his hair unkempt, and he kept glaring at the other contestants with the fury of Tsunade as Ika convention. And Subaku no Gaara was still missing, as a swirling storm of sand descended on the field. The sandstorm pummeled into the outer grounds of the line of Genin, as a form rose up from the slowly dissipating sandstorm. It was Gaara, though he seemed different from before. His skin seemed healthier, and his eyes had more life to them. His ear piercings were removed, and his sandboard appeared to have several seals on it. His hair was longer, covering his love kanji on his forehead. More astonishing was the fact that his rings had began to fade away. Gaara, Tamari said shocked, she couldn't find him, and now he looked somewhat less psychotic. Hello, he said plainly, in a less gravely voice than before, think Shippuden tone, am I late? Hayate shook his head. Cough, nope, you're still on time. The proctor appeared to be in better health than he should have been. Was that to say not dead? Greetings one and all, shinobi and civilian alike. The Hokage announced from his perch on top of the stadium, alongside the cage. Today, in our wonderful Konohagakure no Sato, the Chunin exams shall begin. Our expert panel of judges are ready, and we'll see the best of the best are promoted. But don't despair, you all can try again if you fail. You don't have to win to get promoted, and you can win it all and not be promoted either, so let's begin. Cough, first match, ni Samui, Subaku no Gaara, the two genin nodded as the group not battling vanished. Tamari gave one last look at Gaara. Gaara, I was worried sick about you, where did you go? He looked at her, before smiling. Tamari shivered inside, that had to be a sign of the apocalypse. I improved, he turned towards his opponent. I didn't get to fight the cotton candy one, I hope you can fight. From her solo, cheap seat, said Cotton Candy Girl grimaced. She wanted both of them to die, the redhead for disrespecting her, and the blonde for having large boobs. From a richer seat out of sight of the ninja, Tae-sun and Fluffy smiled in view of the second rounds. Begin. Lightning release. Lightning surge. Samui sent a blast of lightning flying at Gaara. In response, Gaara began doing several rapid hand signs. Hey wait, when does Gaara do that? Kankuro gasped from his seat. Somehow this was going to be bad. Wind release. Wind dragon gust. From the gourd on his back, a burst of wind flew out, forming into a wind dragon like its fire and water counterparts and flew into the lightning release, absorbing it before impacting it into the ground near Samui. Samui jumped out of the attack range, avoiding an explosion. The judges nodded, they were impressed. Hey, I can't copy him. You are a lightning release user, so thus my sand is not suitable for blocking your attacks. My sand contains conductive minerals that would allow your attacks to get through with ease. Thus, I've trained to fight, with alternate strategies. Gaara, not using Shukaku. Great, what's next? An alien invasion, Kankuro muttered. A dark-shadowed man in a huge overcoat behind him then began muttering something. Mothership, this is F-53, code-named Quasar Star, our secrecy is compromised, the invasion must be delayed. The one with the bovine inside of him is also still active, requesting aid in demoralizing him. Odd, it appears Omoi and Kankuro somehow predicted and stopped alien invasions. Not cool, he has a counter for most of my jutsu. Well then, Samui drew her tanto from its sheath. Perhaps alteration would be better. She charged forward with her tanto, and sliced at Gaara. Wind release. Tempest wall. A wall of winds formed to block the blade, but as he did this, Samui grinned. Fire release. Flame blade. Samui's tanto caught on fire out of nowhere as it impacted the wall, causing an explosion. Samui, replacing herself via substitution, grinned. What the hell? Karui gasped from her seat. Yugito grinned. What? Killer Bee was off on a sulking streak for a few weeks, so I thought I'd train her in her own alternate strategy. I had a feeling the little guy might have a wind release on him, so I thought training her in fire release would be a boon for her. Gaara was blasted by the explosion, before he burst into smoke as well. Shadow clone. Gaara was standing on top of one of the arena's trees. So, you have a fire release. I applaud you for your strategy, but for now, wind release, drilling air bullet. Several balls of wind chakra were rapidly blasted from Gaara's mouth, flying straight at Samui, who used her still-burning sword to strike them and destroy them, leaving great cracks in the earth as she did. Gaara smiled. Wait, why's Gaara smiling? Temari said confused. None of his attacks are working. He can't use his sand with her lightning release, and her fire release is blocking his wind releases. This is getting interesting. Out of the cracks in the ground, tendrils of sand rose up and flew at Samui. She glared. So, you used me to break the earth open to ease your sand's movement. Cool, but not cool enough. She drew her sword, and focused her chakra. Her blade's fire retreated from half of the blade, to be replaced by static, that reverberated across the mid-rim in a dangerous energy stream. The judges were impressed. Both of them are showing great potential, one remarked. I see our time wasn't for naught, as never a kenjutsu was ever used for the battle to be fought. To translate, behold a brand new kenjutsu style. Lightning fire release, Ni energy blade. Samui sliced through the sand tendrils with the new blade with shocking skill, its two elements canceling both of the sand's elements. No tendril even got close. However, Gaara didn't appear frustrated, he was in fact grinning. Now, ropes flew from the trees to bind Samui, shocking the entire stadium. Gaara jumped down from the tree, as Samui looked in the direction of the trees, to spy two robe-bearing raccoons in Robin Hood-like hats binding her. Not cool. So, I've seen you met my new friends, Tanuban and Tanua, the rope raccoon brothers. My sensei over this last month held their summoning contract, and even while he doesn't have it on him, he can still recall it at his will. Tae-sun. Team 11 gasped in shock. So, you managed to surprise me with a few raccoons, big deal. Because, it would be uncool of me to lose here, not in front of Naruto-kun no less. A glowing aura of blue lightning chakra surrounded Samui, sending an electric charge up the ropes. The two raccoons rapidly escaped the oncoming frying. Go nintaijutsu. Killer Bee cheered. Samui did a few rapid hand signs. Fire release. Fire cat pause technique. Ni smiled, as hundreds of paw-shaped fire attacks flew straight at Gaara, who used his sand to block these ones, but was unprepared as Samui elbowed into him, sending an electric shockwave into Gaara. He stumbled back, fizzling as Samui flew in for the end blow. Gaara. Temari gasped in fear. He looked sharply up, and in a burst of orange chakra avoided her. Samui and Team 11's eyes flew open, as did her sensei's. Another Jinchuriki. This is bad. Gaara is like. Gaara focused, as red chakra bubbled across his arm, forming into a loose shape like his one-armed sand form, though this time it didn't cover his head in any way. Wait, that's different than before, Temari remarked. Behold, the result of training. Samui-san, I am glad I got to test drive this now. Gaara flew at Samui, his arms swinging wide. She glared at him as she flew at him with her nintaijutsu active. Lariat, chakra arm. The two collided in a large explosion, filling the area with a plume of smoke. The crowd murmured nervously, as the smoke cleared, with Gaara standing over Samui, his sand covering her chest. Samui-chan, Naruto murmured nervously. He turned towards Hayate. This match is over. I'd suggest bringing something to cover her when you take her out. The last attack damaged her shirt, and I'd hate to leave her out to be stared at, he said plainly. Temari's eyes went wide. He's being merciful. Apocalypse, Kankuro murmured. This could mess up the entire invasion, Baki said nervously. Winner, Subaku no Gaara. A group of female nurses took Samui out, with something covering her ruined shirt. Tae-sun smiled. It seems as though our training him worked to AT, and without him being pervertified. I'm quite happy with the ways things are working up. Oh come on, you sure he couldn't be a little perverted, with his third eye technique? Fluffy-chan. You are aggravating. Today's original techniques. Wind release. Wind dragon gust rank. A description. A wind dragon is formed and is used to attack the foe. Wind release. Tempest wall rank. A description. A wall of winds are formed to shield yourself. Fire release. Flame blade rank. B. Description: fire chakra channels across a blade to increase its battle abilities. Lightning fire release. Ni energy blade rank S. A new technique devised by Samui. Ni and B. Fire and lightning chakra are funneled into a blade to increase its potential to never-before-seen heights. Fire release. Fire pause technique rank. See description: a blast of fire techniques like Phoenix Sage is used to attack the foe. Chapter 34. Finals: Sasuke vs. Tenten. Office of the Hokage. The Hokage was depressed. Highly, utterly depressed. He wanted to see how his beloved brother's students were doing at the finals, but no, he had to be held back, with the enemy of all civilized man. Paperwork. This had to do with the new genin of theirs, Dozu, who defected from the Hidden Sound. The information he provided for them on the village, and its leader, was actually quite good. Kumo never let its guard down. The village did once in the old days, and nearly got destroyed in the old wars. That would never happen again. They'd make sure to be at their most powerful, and information was vital to that. That was part of the reason his predecessor, his father the Sandyame Hokage, had attempted to abduct a Hyuga, and of course that didn't go well. While the Byukugan was important, it wasn't the only Kekkei Genkai out there. Kumo had most of its Kekkei Genkai wielding shinobi killed off during the early shinobi wars. The only ones they had left was the storm release of the Kazarin clan, and maybe the sound of thunder as well. After all, it was a teaching style that has passed on from members of both his and his brother's clan for generations, like the flames of youth in the Maeda clan did. One apparently there had been a spirit of the breeze, heart of water, and the willpower of stone, but they had been killed off for some reason. The Hokage couldn't image why in the Tsuchikage's doctor. Tisk tisk, really Tsuchikage dono, you really need to be careful on your back, his medical nin complained. The old man was fuming. He wanted to see his granddaughter destroy Konoha nin, not get stuck with back surgery. You know, you really should retire. If I find a replacement, I will. But I haven't, so will you all shut up? Ow, my back. Back at the stadium, the next match was about to begin, with Tenten staring down always arrogant Sasuke. So little girl, hope you're ready to lose. I need a good show anyway. And once I defeat you, you will become one of my wives. Yu Gao-chan will kill me if I let this go on. Begin. Tenten promptly tossed a shuriken at Sasuke, who dodged it just as quickly, activating his Sharingan as he did so. Ha! Is that all you have, you little girl? Fire release. Great fireball technique. A giant fireball was spat towards Tenten, who rapidly grabbed at the scroll on her back, and unsealed the sword she used against Omoi. That's it, Tenten, show him all your training. Lee yelled from above. She focused her chakra flow into the sword. Earth release. Earth blade. Earth chakra flowed into her blade, reinforcing its structure and endurance. With it, Tenten slammed into the fireball, before knocking it back like a baseball. Nani. Sasuke was slammed with his own fireball, flying into the wall with a giant slam, before he forced himself back into it. Ha! So a girl who actually can fight. Lightning release. Surge of lightning. A blast of lightning chakra flew from Sasuke towards Tenten, as Killer Bee stared in shock. Hey, that's Samui's jutsu. The Sandyame frowned. This isn't going to be fun. The blast flew towards Tenten. Little bitch probably doesn't know lightning beats earth. That bimbo is going to get fried, and then I'll really have one hot bitch. Tenten dodged the attack with swift agility, before reappearing behind Sasuke. Chidori. The two attacks collided, Earth Sword against Chidori. The sword held, before it was blown out of Tenten's hand and into a tree. Sasuke, with a triumph, plunged Chidori towards Tenten's heart, before his eyes went wide. Ninja Wire was restraining his arms. Didn't expect, did you, pretty boy? Tenten smirked. Sasuke smirked. Of course I didn't, but luckily I don't need my hands for jutsu. He stared into Tenten's eyes, as his eyes morphed into a different shape, sort of like an atomic symbol. Tae-sun shivered. Mangekyo Sharingan, so the Uchiha was teaching him. Tenten froze, trapped in a genjutsu. Tenten. In the genjutsu, Tenten was floating in a dark abyss, as weapons began rising forth from every nick and corner of her vision, as they began to fly at her, piercing her skin. This was no ordinary genjutsu. The pain, it was real. She gritted her teeth, as she began to focus her anti-genjutsu training. Release. Nothing. She tried another technique, as she found herself looking like a female Lee, to no avail. So, horror didn't work either. Then, she saw a light in the distance. Flashback. Tenten had sought Naruto out for one reason, and one reason alone. She had waited days until he was alone, before approaching him. "Oh, you're Tenten, right?" Bushy brows team. She chuckled to Lee's nickname, before nodding. "Yes, Naruto-san, I'd like your help. You seem to have skills in seals, right?" He nodded. "Well, you know that seal that my opponent had. Do you think you can make something like that for my storage seals?" "I'll pay." He shook his head. "Don't. All the payment I need is the Uchiha's ass kicked. Besides, I'd hate to see someone hurt by the jerk." End flashback. Naruto didn't even know her really, but he had helped her regardless. And without even asking to really get paid, or asking for something possible. Tenten knew that she probably couldn't defeat Sasuke. While he was a jerk, he was a skilled jerk. She instead focused on refining her skills to pass to Chunin. He did it from the bottom of his heart. And it didn't hurt. He was good looking. The scroll on her back then began to hum, with a little of her chakra. She blinked. A anti-genjutsu seal. Why did he add that? She didn't ask him to. Or did he do it, just from the goodness of his heart? A wave of chakra burst through the genjutsu, unseen to her as slightly red, sweeping the genjutsu away. Real life. Winner. Sasuke, in his momentary glory, smirked, before Tenten forced herself back into the game with an intense kick. Dynamic entry. He was sent flying into a tree. Tenten began panting. That genjutsu wasn't pleasant to deal with, at all. "Thank you, Naruto-kun." "Wait, kun." Sasuke forced himself up. "What, you're still up? Damn girl, your breed powerful Uchiha." Passing Fang. He flew towards Tenten in a razor spin. Kiba growled from his audience seat, and the ninja in general had an air of disdain as the attack flew towards Tenten. "Don't think about it, bub." She drew the anti-neji hammer from the scroll, and with a harsh swing, slammed into Sasuke, who was knocked into the air by it. Dropping it, she drew a dozen kunai, before tossing them towards the Uchiha, who glared at her annoyed. Leaf Hurricane. He spun around, knocking the kunai out the way with his foot before forcing himself towards Tenten. Water Release. Water Tornado. She drew a sickle-like weapon from her scroll. Earth Release. Earth Blade. With earth chakra flowing inside of it, the blade overpowered the jutsu and restrained the prick. He growled, before his eyes began changing once again. "Oh no you don't." A kunai was flung at Sasuke, who had to disengage the new eyes to avoid losing them to metal. However, the distraction allowed him to escape the metal restraints. "I will burn you alive." Fire Release. Phoenix Sage Inferno Technique. Thousands of small fires flew towards Tenten in a great armada of sparks. Tenten smirked. "Perfect. Time to show my skills." She drew from her scroll. "If this doesn't make me a chunin, I'm screwed." Drawing hundreds of shuriken and kunai, the metal weapons were sent flying at the sparks, colliding into each and every fire. The crowd and judges were impressed. Such weapons mastery, at her age, another good chunin in the making. The Uchiha, however, is too anger-prone. Speaking of, "How dare you? You kunoichi are supposed to be worthless, weak." She laughed. "Then why is it that half of the finalists are kunoichi then, Mr. Gay Man?" That ticked him off for the final time. Chidori. The lightning blade formed once again. His mouth was agape with fury, as was his face. "This isn't even good enough. To deal with a parasite like you, kneel beneath my feet, Raikiri." The lightning attack further evolved. The Jonin paled. But Kakashi-san fled. He never taught him that. "How is it? He's using it." Hayate gulped. This was bad. Tenten held steady, as he charged at her, with true killer intent. "Damn Uchiha. I hope Gaara-kun can handle him." Fluffy shook her head. "Hey, if this keeps up, he won't have enough chakra to handle him." Tae-sun shook his head. "Somehow, I doubt that will be a problem. I fear Uchiha has possessed Sasuke. And most likely improved the cursed seal. That boy, I sense chakra equal to Gaara's in strength, but he will still be winded." Tenten smirked. "Time for my secret technique." She activated the magnetic seal, as her weapons flew towards her and began swirling around her like a giant storm. As Reikiri struck, Tenten yelled out, "Ninja art! Metal shield storm!" as the Reikiri was held back, and more. What the lightning, in fact absorbed by the metal and redirected, blasting into Sasuke and sending him into the tree with the force to kill a rhino. But it wasn't Sasuke there, but a kunai. What the chakra stealing technique? Sasuke, using substitution to replace himself, struck Tenten in the breast and began sucking away her chakra, replenishing him own. An advantage with weapons users like Tenten is they use little chakra, but this advantage is now gone the opposite direction. Tenten was now approaching dangerous levels of emptiness, while Sasuke was nearly replenished, before Hayate used substitution to retrieve the girl. She was unconscious, on death's doorstep. Tenten-san, Naruto, his group, and her team said concerned. The vast majority of the Colosseum was now furious at the Uchiha. Hayate glared at him as Tenten was taken away for emergency treatment. Winner, Uchiha, he is truly unyouthful. Gaara-san, crush him into a million pieces. Gaara nodded. It can be done. The Hokage glared down at the smug jerk. Itachi-kun, Fugaku-san, Makoto-chan, your son, will never be a chunin after that. Not while I'm around. OC Styles. Earth Release. Earth Sword Rank. A description. Earth Chakra is used to solidify a blade's power. Fire Release. Phoenix Sage Inferno Technique Rank. A. Description. Large-scale version of Phoenix Sage Fire. Ninja Art. Metal Storm Shield Rank. A description. Using a magnetic seal, metal weapons forms a storm of awesome defensive powers. Chapter 35. Finals Kurotsuchi vs Naruto Konoha Stadium. Kurotsuchi and Naruto stared one another down, the thrill of the fight filling the air. Kurotsuchi seemed to be giving up odd amounts of killer intent. Naruto wasn't quite sure how he'd pull this off. This girl was powerful, and he didn't have the same ace that Fu had. Flashback. Training. Naruto was flung off the top of a cliff by Jiraiya. For a week, they had been trying to get the Nine Tails chakra, but nothing he, the pervy sage, or Fu recommended was working. So, Jiraiya had this brilliant idea, that deathly peril would be the way to go. However, he made the mistake of doing this where the girls were in eyesight of him. Naruto-kun. Ice Release. Ball Implosion. Jiraiya whelped in pain, before poofing into smoke. They groaned in annoyance. The pervert was getting smarter at avoiding them now. Summoning Jutsu. A giant poof of smoke filled the area, as a great purple shape leapt out of the chasm, with Gamaken the armed toad leapt into the air and landed with a shake, leaving Naruto behind on the ground before poofing away. The real pervy sage then appeared via body flicker. So, that didn't work either, did it? The trio glared at him, as did the observer, stalker, Hinata. She had been observing most of their training sessions, and now knew their secrets, the Kekkei Genkai and tailed beasts. Not that she had anything against that, she did come from a clan whose traditions were demonic enough, not to mention the pervertedness. Not that any of them knew this. But why can't I call on the Kyuubi's chakra? I did against that puppet guy. Naruto pouted. Jiraiya appeared to be in thought about this, before he had an hypothesis on the situation. Perhaps it's the seal that gave you your Kekkei Genkai, he surmised. You do say that you always appear to gain new powers when in crisis. They nodded. That would normally be when the Kyuubi chakra would be released. The seal must filter it out. While you get healed, you're unable to access it normally. As to your battle with Kankuro, he might have temporarily deactivated the filter, I don't know. End flashback. Without the fox's power boost, he'd be weaker physically than when he was fighting Kankuro. For that reason, Kurotsuchi will be prepared for a stronger Naruto, thus overprepared now. The third match, Kurotsuchi of both scales vs Uzumaki Naruto, begin. Shino blinked. That's bad. Haku, Fu and Hinata stared at him in confusion. Both scales, that's the title of the third Tsuchikage of Iwa. That means she's related to the man, an immensely powerful shinobi with a Kekkei Tota called Dust Release. While it is a very difficult one to use, an issue with it is it can breed related Kekkei Genkai, such as Lava Release. Lava Geyser. Out of the ground below Naruto, A huge burst of lava surged forth, which he barely avoided. Shino sweat dropped. Lava release. Hinata gasped. Naruto-kun. Fu shook her head. This is probably going to be tough. Wait if Kurotsuchi can. Can Hinata do something similar with her Aurora release? Shino contemplated. Yes, with training. Hinata smiled slightly. Perhaps watching Naruto-kun did more than fill her in on his secrets. Okay. You asked for it. Aura release. Aura sphere. The blue sphere formed in Naruto's hands, before the attack was sent surging forward towards Kurotsuchi, who smirked. Earth release. Rock fist. The sphere was shattered with sheer force from the rock-covered fists, before she flew towards Naruto for a blow. Shadow clone jutsu. Naruto formed a shadow clone next to him quickly, as a spiraling blue sphere began to form in Naruto's hand. While he did have some training, his chakra control was still lacking some finesse, but still the results were unmatched. Rasengan. With a spin, the shadow clone spun him forward. The blue spiraling sphere glowed as Naruto struck into Kurotsuchi's attack, creating an explosion. Both were thrust into the air by the sheer intensity of the attack. What power? Was that one of the yellow flashes? Kurotsuchi wondered, before doing several rapid hand signs. Fire release. Dragon flame jutsu. The dragon of flames blew from her mouth, flying towards Naruto. He did several rapid hand signs. Aura release. Aura bubble. Naruto was quickly encased in a bubble of chakra as he was blown into the wall, before Kurotsuchi appeared next to his weakened bubble with a body flicker. Hello there. Earth release. Rock fist. Naruto was pounded with the rock-enhanced fists, his shield breaking as Naruto was sent flying to the ground. Kurotsuchi flew towards him once more, with rock fists ready. Naruto rapidly improvised. Scorch release. Humidity force. A great wave of heat flew from Naruto, striking Kurotsuchi. She began to sweat heavily. Temari blinked. Wait. Scorch release. That's an extinct Suna bloodline. Kurotsuchi began sweating. As the sweat poured across her rock fist jutsu, the sweat causing the rocks to be loosened. He then did a few more hand signs. Fire release. Fireball. A fireball was formed in Naruto's hands, before it was chucked straight into Kurotsuchi, who was sent into the sky. Naruto did a few rapid hand signs. Shadow clone jutsu. 3 more Naruto clones appeared, with the 4th catching up. They then began to charge up ball jutsu, including one with wind and one with spinning dust. Wind release. Wind ball. Earth release. Dust ball. Fire release. Fireball. Water release. Water ball. Lightning release. Thunder ball. All 5 ball attacks were sent flying straight at Kurotsuchi. She was hit by all 5, before dissolving into mud. Mud clone. Duh. Fire release. Intelligent hard work. A fireball was sent flying towards the Narutos. What sort of jutsu is that, with such a ridiculous? Kiba commented, before the flames exploded into a huge fireball, destroying the clone Narutos while the original barely avoided it. Oh, guess it's not. Naruto then grunted. Not bad. But not so good as to say I'm done. Water release. Water wyvern jutsu. A water dragon flew from Naruto proper, flying at Kurotsuchi. Ha, you'd use such a weak jutsu against me. Fire release. Dragon flame jutsu. The 2 released dragons collided, before the fire dragon overpowered the water one and flew at Naruto. That was unexpected, Shino surmised. Troublesome. A powerful woman. Lightning release. Shock palm. Naruto palmed the dragon, destroying it before charging at Kurotsuchi and delivering a roundhouse kick. She bent over, and gave him a left hook, which he blocked with one hand before punching her in the face, before she dissolved into mud. Not again. Yeah, again. Lava release. Lava geyser. A burst of lava flew from below Naruto, forcing him to have to move back to avoid being deep-fried. Not this time, yellow boy. Lava release. Lava geyser field. Hundreds of lava geysers burst forth, engulfing the area in nearly endless lava. The judges were shocked. What powerful genin this time around. Amazing chakra levels, powerful arsenals, and perseverance to boot. This year will be a memorable one, if what we've seen so far is held. Wind release. Wind fleets. Wind release. Rising wind fleets. Using the wind release, Naruto took to the skies, dodging the lava with the grace of a lopsided vulture. Yadobi, show off how pathetic you truly are. Naruto spotted her, in the only part of the battlefield lacking lava. He grinned, before drawing several kunai, and throwing them straight at her. Hearing their approach, she disengaged the lava release and jumped out of the way, before Naruto landed in the same spot with a jutsu-driven vengeance. Lava release. Tunneling eruption fault. Nothing appeared to happen, but in the meantime Naruto wasn't lax. Shadow clone jutsu. 8 more Narutos appeared, before a few hand signs were done. Wait, that's... Haku gasped. Ice release. Demonic ice mirrors. All around Kurotsuchi, mirrors of ice started to appear around her, as the clone Narutos entered the ice mirror's reflections. Ice release. Endless Rasengan. The clones, working in teams of 2, alternated between using and forming the Rasengan, before flying from spot to spot, with the Rasengan activated. All the while, impacting into Kurotsuchi. This boy's chakra reserves. Unreal. Water release. Water encampment wall. Around Kurotsuchi, a wall of water rose up, becoming an alternating shield to block off the attacks of endless Rasengan. What the? Water release too. Kurenai gasped. What a battle. These two will become legends, the Sandyame prophesied. This battle, so many strategies, counter-strategies, and their sheer power, they both are more like Tobetsu Jonin than Chunin, the judges commented. I didn't even think of that. It's amazing when you combine endless potential with endless imagination with a hint of genius innovation, Tae-sun remarked. Naruto-kun, Hinata said in amazement. Yosh, if I don't do nearly as well as Naruto-san is, I shall capture Tor the cat with nothing but dental floss and a tangelo. Is that normal? Haku asked his teammate, who sighed. Sadly, yes, but how is it that boy is the dead last of his year? The dobi isn't so great, Sasuke huffed. Hey, at least he doesn't grope his foes or stab them with assassination jutsus, Neji growled. Kurotsuchi continued to use water encampment wall to stop endless Rasengan, before the ground began to superheat. Crap, she groaned, before she shifted her water wall, as a burst of lava flew from below. Shikamaru blinked. How did that? That lava release is a delayed technique. Naruto-kun planted it just in case she could block his attacks, Haku commented, just as an endless Rasengan attack managed to strike Kurotsuchi, and send her flying, before another impacted into her, and another. Lava release. Ring of fire. Via chakra, a huge ring of lava was blasted from her, striking into the mirrors and clones, melting them as it continued straight at Naruto, before a tendril of lava from his earlier jutsu rose up to block the attack, and was assimilated into the attack. Crap, Naruto-kun. The attack flew straight towards him. He grimaced. Storm release. Great twister. Naruto formed a twister around himself before gliding straight into the attack. Killer Bee blinked. What's flippin'? That's our Kekkei Genkai. The twister struck the lava and incorporated it. He yelled in pain. Storm release. Lava storm. The now lava storm jutsu slammed into Kurotsuchi, sending her flying into the wall. He collapsed to the ground, covered in several burns. Naruto-kun, they said alarmed. To add to the issues, the Kurotsuchi he had struck was melting into mud. Crap, now both of them were panting heavily. Time to end this. Yellow flash child. Lava release. Lava impalement. Kurotsuchi impacted into the ground, as hundreds of lava spouts flew up from the ground towards him. Tae-sun twitched. Well, it appears it's time to unlock his only natural Kekkei Genkai. He closed his eyes. Hate to see him die here. Release. Alpha restraint. Inside the seal, one more segment was revealed. This one was labeled teleport. The attack impacted into the ground, where Naruto had been. Wait, what? Kurotsuchi yelped in surprise, before a flash of yellow formed above her, from which Naruto emerged. She blinked. The flying thunder god. The crowd was shocked. Wait, that was the Yondaime's. But he used it. The blonde hair. No, it can't be possible. The brat is the Yondaime's. The Yondame Hokage had a son. Tamari gasped. Troublesome. How did I miss it? Shikamaru said shocked, as to everyone in the stadium who wasn't already aware, it looked as if an image of their former Hokage was overlapping Naruto's own appearance. Teleport. Teleportation rush. Naruto punched Kurotsuchi in the gut, before warping and kicking her into the air, before impacting again and again. Lee blinked, as did Guy. That's, like the primary lotus aka, the move he used on Gaara in canon. After several kicks, he appeared above her and slammed-kicked her, sending her flying to the ground with amazing speeds, before teleporting down below and doing a quick jutsu. Substitution. He substituted himself with Kurotsuchi, landing on the ground with a plume of smoke, as Kurotsuchi collapsed from where he had been. The judges blinked. He saved her life. That landing would have killed her. Impressive control. The audience blinked. The boy had saved his opponent from dying. Would a demon really do that? Why? Kurotsuchi asked, confused. He shrugged. Hey, I don't have any reason to kill you. After all, this is only a test. Hate for you to fail it by dying, the girls sighed. Naruto's kindness never made their job easier, he just unwittingly got more girls. Idiot Dobi, Hayate, who had briefly body flickered to the Sandaimi's side, reappeared below. Winner, Namikaze, Uzumaki, Naruto, new text or a release, or a bubble. Kekkei Genkai. The description. A protective bubble is formed via chakra. Scorch release. Humidity force Kekkei Genkai. See description. The humidity in the area is increased. Wind release. Wind ball rank. See description. Compressed air is formed into a ball, before being sent at a foe. Earth release. Dust ball rank. See description. Earth chakra is turned to dust and compressed into a ball, before being sent at a foe. Lava release. Lava geyser field Kekkei Genkai. A description. Multiple lava releases. Lava geysers are activated at once. Lava release. Tunneling eruption fault Kekkei Genkai. A description. Lava is sent underground, burrowing tunnels before erupting from above at random intervals. Ice release. Endless Rasengan Kekkei Genkai. A description. A combination of ice mirrors, shadow clones and Rasengan to bombard foes. Lava release. Ring of fire Kekkei Genkai. A description. Lava is shot from all sides to melt all in its path. Storm release. Lava storm Kekkei Genkai. A description. Its user is surrounded by a lava storm. The user suffers burns from use. Chapter 36. Finals. Tae-sun's flashback. Konoha Stadium. With the battle between Subaku no Tamari and Nara Shikamaru about to begin, Tae-sun didn't really appear to be paying attention. Instead, he appeared to be in thought. Okay, no fights this chapter. This is due to the fact that the fight is practically going to be the same as the anime, hence the use of the delayed lava jutsu creating the hole instead of Naruto tunneling it. Flashback. Tae-sun, not dressed in his modern clothing, but instead in a flak jacket coated in grime above a long-sleeved red shirt and shinobi pants, his face covered by a wolf Anbu mask, stood in confrontation against another, a short little fellow. He was dressed in black, a black like the kind you would see in an abyss. His red eyes were soulless, and his once bright hair was stained red, most likely from his victim's blood. They found themselves in a dense forest, where little light tricked down from the sun above. Little underbrush appeared to cover the landscape here. So, may I ask what your name is? The fellow asked. Tae-sun rose an eyebrow. I believe you already know the answer to that. I am a wanderer, though I've heard of you. They call you the Blood Snatcher, do they not? He grinned. So, you've heard of me, have you? It is true, I am who they call the Blood Snatcher. I've scoured this land, searching for the greatest and most powerful of Kekkei Genkai, the Aura of Taki, the Scorch of Suna, so I may become the most powerful ninja in existence, to destroy those who have wronged me. And I'd be happy if you'd let me pass. I have a date with a Hyuga to make, for my 8th Kekkei Genkai. Tae-sun glared at him. You're a monster, you know that. As a shinobi, it is my job to destroy monsters like you. Tae-sun glared down at him. The little shrimp flared up. How dare you? You people are the monsters, not me. I smell your Kekkei Genkai. The one I've sought for beyond all others, give it to me, or a release, or a sphere. The little monster formed a ball of chakra in his hands, before sending it flying towards Tae-sun. Wind release. Beast wave palm. With a swipe of his palm, a sharp current of wind was slammed at the release attack, destroying them both. The boy didn't flinch. Delicus, what power, I will have you, he charged at Tae-sun, with a crazed look in his eyes. Tae-sun jumped out of the way, but that didn't stop the wild child. Wood release, binding nest. Out of nowhere, from the trees surrounding the boy, pillars of wood grew out rapidly and flew at Tae-sun. His eyes widened. How in Kami? Shadow clone jutsu. A shadow clone of Tae-sun appeared, being trapped instead by the wood jutsu as Tae-sun escaped. Ice release. Ice senbon. Hundreds of icy senbon flew at Tae-sun from the child's crazed state, all aimed at him. Beast wave palm. The attacks collided, exploding with force. The boy gave a devilish grin. So, you know my secret, I see. For my improved chimera technique to work, I have to physically make contact with my opponent. You're proving smart, just like I was when I obtained the ice release you just saw. And, the smarter the foe, the more delicious his power will be in the end. He pointed both of his arms at Tae-sun with a grin, who was just standing there. Ice release. Ice senbon. Crystal release. Hexagonagalshurikan. From each hand, the release attacks flew from his arms straight towards Tae-sun, who opened his eyes, in sage mode. How in hell is he able to pull off that much control? Shadow clone jutsu. Another shadow clone took the hit as he avoided the deadly barrage while running out of the boy's attack range. You're only delaying the inevitable. Ice release. Ice spikes. Out of the trees, spikes of ice started forming and striking at Tae-sun. Wind release. Tempest burst. A storm of winds rose from Tae-sun, blocking the attack while he took a quick refill in Senjutsu chakra. You'll never take me alive, fool, the child yelled. He shook at the cliché. Okay boy, you've asked for it. Ninja art. Striking shadow ramen. From Tae-sun's arms, ramen noodles launched from each point and flew at the boy, restraining him. I will not be bound by this garbage. Tae-sun appeared alarmed that anyone would hate ramen this much, before electrical currents began crossing the noodles. Lightning release. Lightning surge. Tae-sun blinked in alarm, before letting loose a jutsu. Wind release. Drilling air bullet. The air bullet struck the ramen, breaking them off as a fire release from the boy burned off the ramen. Did you really think that I only got Kekkei Jiniki from my victims? I gained their strength, all their jutsu, and their control. Haven't got a taste of a genjutsu user yet, but perhaps a Kurama as an appetizer before my Hyuga, giving me a 9th Kekkei Genkei. No matter. Storm release. Phantom surge. Wind release. Drilling air bullet. The two jutsu collided in a burst of wind, all the time Tae-sun remained still to regain a bit of senjutsu power. Ninja art. Apple shuriken. From the trees around them, the apples rose up and flew towards the boy, who snarled. Ice release. Swallow snow storm. Hundreds of ice swallows formed around the boy and struck the apples, knocking them out. Just at this moment, a team of Konoha Anbu appeared on the scene, and glared at the boy. It's that monster, kill it. Fire release. Roaring flame sphere. A fire release was launched at the Anbu, striking them and setting them on fire. Tae-sun shivered. This kid, he's unreal. How is he this strong? Is this the power of darkness? How could one boy have this much hate and savagery? Beast wave palm. Lava release. Lava geyser. A burst of lava blocked the attack with ease, before he blinked. Interesting. That jutsu was used by that fellow from the fire temple I met once. He was actually quite tasty despite not having a Kekkei Genkei. He grinned as a red chakra aura began to surround him. Crap. That's all I need. Tae-sun groaned as the boy's red eyes grew slits and began darker. His claws elongated and a charka tail formed behind him. The now beast-like boy charged at him on all fours. Raw. Scorch release. Extremely steaming murder, jerky. Hundreds of small fireball-like attacks flew at Tae-sun, who dodged them with senjutsu-enhanced speed, before the boy slammed into a tree and blew it up with ease. You will be my feast. You are a psycho, and you will be stopped here. Sacred sealing art. 36 sacred flavors. Darkness sealing. Out of the ground, 36 ancient stone ramen cups rose from the earth, surrounding the fox child before being linked by a static-like stream. A burst of chakra flew from each cup, all aimed at the boy, before striking him, causing him to yell in pain. Ragh. I will not die here. Lava release, Krakatoa. From the fox boy, a huge sound wave, only followed seconds by a huge explosion of lava, burst forth, striking into the seal as well into Tae-sun with a vengeance. Craft sealing style. Eternal ramen cup. A giant cup of ramen formed around Tae-sun, fully formed as the lava struck it. The boiling liquid knocked the ramen cup back, as the entire area was consumed in lava. Back to reality. I give up. I'm virtually out of chakra, and even if I did beat you, Naruto-san would beat me to a pulp. Shikamaru gave up after a lengthy battle with Temari. Lazy to the end. I see. Winner Subaku no Temari. She didn't seem happy. I lost to a Konoha-nin, she sighed as Gaara-san shushing down to her. Temari-ne-san, you're probably pass. She blinked out tears from her brother's kind words. In fact, the judges were agreeing. Both of them are intelligent and natural leaders, even if one's immensely lazy. Flashback again. The forest was no more, now nothing but burning liquid and scorched earth. The blood snatcher was in the center, now panting as his burn wounds healed via the fox chakra as a second tail grew. The ramen cup seal, however, remained with a sweating Tae-sun still inside of it. So, you're still alive, I will devour you, you, Raghhh. The blood snatcher looked more savage than ever. Tae-sun shook his head. So, you're more a monster now then, it seems. No matter. Ninja art, mass devour technique. In an oddly inhuman show of speed and hunger, Tae-sun rapidly devoured the ramen inside the cup after removing his mask, though the speed kept his face obscured. As it was eaten, the cup began to dissolve into chakra and vanished. One full Tae-sun groaned as he left the cup, now out of sage mode and tiring. Now then, for the second phase of the seal. Die. Bubbles of red and blue chakra started to form around the blood snatcher, concentrating in between the two tails. The ball formed into a small dense ball, before being shot straight at Tae-sun like a miniature laser beam, just as the side effect kicked in. Belch. A sonic burp was unleashed from Tae-sun's mouth, and it struck the miniature-tailed beast ball, the two attacks exploding with immense force as they were cancelled out. Tae-sun replaced his mask, as the fox boy growled. Persistent, aren't you, Raghh? I will devour your power yet. Ninja art. Striking shadow ramen. The ramen noodles flew at the boy, before the demon fox cloak burned them off. You can't penetrate. Raghh. Storm release. Thundercloud inner wave. A blanket of dark clouds formed around blood snatcher, as bolts of lightning flew from the clouds at random intervals to strike at Tae-sun, who dodged them with difficulty. Okay. This ends now. He drew several kunai, before attaching seal tags to them. Sending them flying, they flew towards the cloaked boy's cloud, which zapped them. However, these seals were special. Lightning seal activation. Tailed beast cancellation, go. A seal originating from Kumo to control their Jinchuriki in issue times, the seals began to activate, drawing away both the tailed beast chakra and the storm release. The boy wailed in agony. My power! My power! How dare you, I will kill you. He charged at Tae-sun, with a look of blood murder on his face. Beast wave palm. The boy was struck, before he broke apart into wood fragments. Wood clone. You will be my greatest taste. The blood snatcher reached his hand out, to grab Tae-sun. As the next battle in the tournament was about to begin. Original styles ninja art. Striking shadow ramen rank, C. Description. Ramen noodles are launched from one's sleeves to restrain the target. Sacred sealing art. 36 sacred flavors, darkness sealing. Rank. S. Description. A sealing style that locks away the darkness inside a person. Lava release. Krakatoa rank. S. Description. A kenjutsu that unleashed a huge burst of lava, along with a sound wave, as a last resort. The body suffers severe burns due to the attack. From Rixel Strife. Sealing style. Eternal ramen cup rank. A description. A jutsu from Crespacet, one of my favorite X-over writers. If a little elongated in his plots, the jutsu seals one's or someone else in a giant, indestructible ramen cup. The cup vanishes only when the ramen inside it is eaten, though extreme belches will follow. Nina art. Mass devour rank. E. Description. One eats at an amazing pace. Originally a Akamaiki technique. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, as well as checking out the author on fanfiction.net.